Hey guys, welcome. This is the Atletico Talk Show, a new podcast I'm starting here for Atletico fans all across the world in English. I saw there was kind of a gap in that and really just wanted to speak my mind. I love Atletico, loved it for years. My name's Will, I'll be your host, and let's dive into it. I want to cover some big topics every day, talk about things after the games, and especially during the summer transfer windows, really get into each and every single deal as possible. So we're gonna start it off. Today's been a big day. This summer's been huge, but let's start off with a big boom. We had actually had a here we go today, confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. David Hancko, or Hancko, however you prefer to say that, from Fanyard, on a 30 million fixed fee with the add-ons combined. I think I was reading somewhere from Transfer Market Netherlands that it's really more like 26 with 4 millions in easily achievable add-ons. But I mean, 26 million euros for a defender like him. Obviously, he was on Simeone's short list last year. Couldn't get him through the window. It's a really tough negotiation with Feyenoord last year. They were playing a lot of hardball. Uh, they said they were going to send him over. They didn't send him over, and I think we ended up just disagreeing over like 3 to 5 million. Um, but then this year they had a transfer collapse with Al Nasser. Not too long ago, I think they were trying to sell him for 40 million to Al Nasser, and Al Nasser actually denied him coming through. So they had the issue there. So he got sent back after the collapse deal with Al Nasser, and I think they just honestly felt a little bad and were like, "Look, you've been wanting to move. You said we would give you the move after this year. We couldn't sell you to Saudi, and you didn't really want to go. You've been wanting to go to Atletico Madrid. So you know what? If they come in with a solid offer, here's the problem. If you can solve it, boom, his his agent gets online, calls Buchero, and we get the deal done within minutes. Minutes after an hour of it even popping up on the first original tweet, I'm pretty sure. So, boom, here we go. David Hancko. Um, I know a lot of us were thinking about this guy right here, Renato Vega, very talented center back, played at Juventus on loan this year from Chelsea. We were in some negotiations there. I believe the deal is still on hold currently. It's not officially canceled, but it's not going to be looking to progress as quickly as we expected, obviously. Um, but wanted to break down a couple stats here now that Hancko is in here. And he's a little bit more versatile. He's 27. He's about to turn 28, so not the youngest, obviously, in comparison to Viega. But I wanted to go ahead and put all of our center backs that we currently have here. Hold on, let me add it. Jose Maria Jimenez. Um, how do you spell his name? Whatever. That'll work. All right, Jose Maria Jimenez here. So these are our center back listings currently. Obviously, Renato Vega is not ours currently. We're still negotiating with Chelsea. I think that they're wanting 40. We're kind of pitching more towards 30 with add-ons, if that, seeing if we can get a deal done. So, things always come down to it. We'll see how the cookie crumbles there. He's obviously very young, very versatile. He's played CDM throughout his career, left back, and really wants to become a center back full time. Had a really good initial season, as you see here. He's the green guy here. Um, really good at aerial duels. Obviously, Renato Vega is, um, 91% there. Also pretty good with progressive carries. Not that many minutes though. Obviously, he was benched half the year at Chelsea. Only kind of played in the UEL and things of that manner. Kind of tournament games, I think FA Cup or whatever they play over there. One of those situations. We didn't play too much. I think they're in the UEFA Conference League. Is that what they're in? Conference League? You can write in the comments below if you remember what they were in. I think that's right, UCL, but not the good one. UECL, UEFA European Conference League. Yeah, not the UCL. Weren't good enough to make that one. But yeah, Renato Vega obviously didn't get a lot of time. Played like half the year. But looking at Hancko or Hancko, he is. Where's he from? Is he Danish, Serbian? I don't want to get this wrong. Let me get a quick Google in here. Slovakian. Okay. Well, that's fun. He's Slovakian. And playing at Fenyard, not a small time put in though. Look at that, 3,149 minutes. He is a all in all starter. He had UCL time. Fenyard made a good run in the UCL this year. Um, or no, 2 years recently, if I'm not mistaken. And he was a big part of that. I know he's won multiple MVPs of games. He's had 15 goals in his past 3 years since joining too, which is a pretty crazy stat for a center back, to be honest. But looking at this, he's got very high percentage pass completion. Um, just thinking about that, like that's going to help us progress the game, get the ball out to the CDM, out to the left back, right back, and keep the game moving. That is not something that we've had clearly. Look at this, like Longley was our best example of that. He meant it's like that's not good. Lenormand I feel like he just had an off season last year, unfortunately, with the head injury and whatever. You kind of threw him off because these are horrific stats, to be honest. Lenormand looks like he forgot how to play football this past year. Diving into Hancko, I mean, forward progressive passes, that's really, really good. He's starting the ball out from the back. He's not afraid to play that next ball. Um, and 97% progressive passes. Like that's what you want from your center back now in modern football. This isn't, you know, 2010 anymore. We can't sit in a low block and expect to win games. We need to be able to build out from the back. And Hancko is going to bring that to us just looking at the stats. Like, that's insane. I obviously have not watched a lot of Hancko. I don't watch a lot of the Dutch Eredivisie League. But this is screaming statistical wise. Like, this is a great pickup for 24 plus 6. Like, this is a talented player. He's going to be 28 soon, so 27 going into 28. Still young. He can give us 4-year window here. 32 is still, very, very doable for a center back. I don't think he played until he's like 40. But defensive duels, very, very high. And that's another thing I liked about Renato Vega. When I watched his film, Renato Vega, big slide tackler, very strong, very aggressive into a lot of the tackles. And I think they're both over 6 feet. So we're not really afraid there. But progressive carries as well. This is all of these stats, the progressive carries, the aerial duels, the passes completed, and the progressive pass percentage. That's just like huge. Our most progressive builder of the back is Clement Longley. That's what you're going to tell me? Clement Longley is who we're relying on? He's a good fourth center back, third center back, but he cannot be the quality, we're looking for to define Atletico Madrid. Like, it just does not work like that. So, just want to check here that I am streaming correctly. Boom, I am. For first stream, you got to get a couple things out of the way. But just make sure, drop a like, drop a subscription. I'm going to try to, do these daily in the afternoon, kind of bring all the news I can rack in throughout the day, and analysis I can rack in throughout the day, and talk about it, because obviously it's turning into like 9:30, 10 over there in Spain. So we've got all the good juicy details from Europe. We can kind of rehash them throughout the day. Um, so moving on, I think he's kind of the missing piece here. Going to this visualization, I mean, he's just all around better than all of our center backs. The reason I would want Vega over him is just due to youth, but he is not better. Clearly, he's not better and he's not experienced. But I mean, Hancko, it is the Eredivisie, granted. Let's see how he does this year. He's already our player. Can't back out of it. But I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. Speaking of being excited, let's move on to Marc Pubil from Almeria. If I'm not mistaken, he signed for 16 million after we had a falling out with Arezzo, the right back from Osasuna. He ended up moving to Athletic Bilbao. Good for him. I think they paid the release clause of 12 million euros. But this kid's young. He's from Almeria. Very, very aggressive. Very strong player. I think he had a deal with Barcelona last year. I think he failed a medical I think he was making a move to Napoli, if I'm not mistaken. we actually hijacked the deal from AC Milan and Wolves. Um, and completely hijacked the deal from Wolves just out of, I guess, rage, spite. I think he's second on our window, but Buquero is moving like a demon this transfer window. And I am as happy as can be as an Athletic Madrid fan. I hope Atleti, it's a beautiful time to be alive. We acted quick. I saw this pop up probably around 3 o'clock. So they were talking to him within 15 minutes. I think the deal is closed. We got the here we go uh, from Marca, and so it was crazy. Yeah, I don't know much about him to be honest. He played in the second division Almeria. I'm gonna see if I can pull up some of his statistics here. Marc Puil. Mm, No, I guess he's literally not even on here. But as far as I know, check out some of his stats here on transfer market. He was at Almeria. It looks like the transfer is going here from. Here we go. Yeah, moving from Almeria to Atletico Madrid, 16 mil. I mean, it's not. So he's got statistically in La Liga. He was obviously in La Liga or season ago. Last season's in La Liga 2. Plays a lot of minutes. I honestly don't know much about him. We can do an in-depth analysis about him tomorrow. But I did really want to. I mean, he's 190, which is, I think, roughly 6 foot, 6 foot one. He's tall. He's a tall dude. 22 years old, young. I think he was literally going to Napoli a year ago, and I think he had some issues with his ACL tear, not completely of healing, or he had some like a little bit of cleanup that needed to be done, some scar tissue, and they just didn't like it, and they canceled him off of the medical. Um, so he kind of had a collapse there. But to kind of turn out and finish our little quick initial stream here, just getting to know you guys, I wanted to kind of cover who's coming this year, what's going out, and what to expect from Atletico Madrid this year. So, kind of looking at what we got here, um, Carlos Martin, I kind of get you up to date with where he's at. He's not going to be on the squad. I'm hearing rumors from him getting outreach from Rayo Vallecano. Um, I think it was Getafe was also talking to him, but he will not be on the team next year. We're looking to sell him for anywhere 5 to 10 mil. I know his market value is currently 2.8, but we're not relying on him. He's not going to be a backup forward, so nothing to really look at there. We can kind of discard that. Saul, I wanted to also say confirmed today that Saul has terminated his contract with us. Thank you, Saul. It's big of you to do that. Now you can join Felipe Luis in Flamengo in Rio de Janeiro and have a beautiful rest of your career. Go compete in the Libertadores. Go win the Brasilia Primeira Liga, and maybe turn into a coach one day. But his after 17 fateful years, growing up here as a kid, going through the academy, we hate to see him leave. Love to have him. I know he had some tough years there, but we love you, Saul. Thank you for everything you've done, and we wish you all the best. Um, like I said, here are some incomings that we've had this year. Juan Musso, we basically just kept him for Atalanta. I think we got him for like 3 mil. Um, what do we got here? Yeah, what do we get him here? Juan Musso, yeah, 3 million. Moldovan ended his loan. He came back to us. I think we shipped him out as well to Real Oviedo. Clemandongle came back. We got him for free after a termination of his contract with Barcelona. So beautiful purchase as well there for free. I mean, you can't really be mad at it for backup left back or center back. Matteo Ruggieri. This one also came out of nowhere, flying in. We completed the deal in like 10 minutes, and we're going to do analysis on all these guys coming up here when the window kind of slows down, but it's kind of insane how quickly we've been getting players in through the window. This transfer window, it's just been like boom, a name pops up, it's done. Like ah, moving up to the next guy, Thiago Alma, 24 years old. Look at this. Look at this. 24, 22, 22, 24, 23, 23. Like, it's beautiful to see this. Hancko is 28, but I mean, whatever. You need a couple leaders coming in too, right? You can't have all youngsters. But that's why I really wanted Viega. 21 as well. Like, can you see this team in 5 years if everything works out? Like, whew, insanity. Um, just super excited to see kind of what these guys do. Can't wait to do a special on Alex Baena. I think he is the top signing, and I can't wait to see what he does with Sorloth that year. I think they had a combined 40 something goal contributions. If you look at our transfer record so far, you can tack on an extra 30 to this. So we spent 100 and what is that, 17 million, if my math's correct. Is that right? Whatever. We're not here for math class. We're here to speak about this income. I think my favorite purchase so far is Alex Baena. Johnny Cardoso, I think, is going to be really important. We haven't had a center defensive mid since Thomas Partey left. And Cholo's been asking for a center defensive mid for about, I don't know, 6, 7 years now. Or I guess it's 5 years now since Partey's left the Arsenal. So yeah, that's not happening. Thiago Almada, he's just gonna have to have um, his own episode too, because he's really good. He's really talented. He's playing. I think he's gonna be more of an heir apparent to Griezmann rather than that right winger, or covering Correa. I don't see him as much as a replacement for that. He likes to play in between the gaps. Whenever he plays for Argentina when Messi's hurt, he kind of replaces that role. So he kind of fades in between the lines. He's kind of a false nine-ish, cam type of role, but he's fast. He can play winger. He'll do what he does. He wanted to come to Atletico Madrid. He will get it done. Whatever Cholo tells him to do, he'll do it. Johnny Cardoso is something we've really needed. Progressivity from the back, starting the attack, starting the breakdown of a press. We haven't had that. The guy who can get the ball from Hancko, from Robin Lenormand, from Jose Maria Jimenez, and dribble one guy, turn, start the breakout, get the ball, maintain the pace of the game. Think of him as Koke in his prime, um, Thiago when we had Thiago back in the day, Vitinha is a good example of that. Gattuso, Busquets. You need a player like that. I know not all of those were Atletico Madrid players, but uh, just to get my point across, those players are extremely important. Rodri, players like that, they are the heartbeat of the team. They do all the dirty work that nobody, screams or cheers about. Nobody's going to buy that many of their jerseys, but they are some of the most, if not the most important players on the field. And the coaches know that. They're usually the coach's favorite players, because without them, the pace of the game is not there. You can have all the fancy players in the world you want, but without a guy like him pulling the strings from the back and getting the game started, he's not going to make the 40-yard through ball, but he's going to make the 10 5-yard passes or the 30-yard swinging pass to kill all of the pressure from one side of a press and instantly start an attack. He's that type of guy. So we need players like that. That's what DePaul wasn't good enough at doing. Um, so going back to some of our departures, I'm gonna move in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put Rodrigo Paul on this as well. He's leaving for 15 million to Inter Miami. Thank you for your service, sir, but goodbye. Arthur Vermeeren confirmed gone to RB Leipzig. Don't know why we bought him if we weren't even going to try to use him, but that's that. Rodrigo Riquelme, Roro, just wasn't good enough to play for us. Came up through academy, wanted to watch him succeed, couldn't because he wasn't good enough. Angel Correa, 10 years with us. A legacy of scoring last minute bangers. Love to have him on our team. Thank you for your service. Reinildo, you were so freaking good. You were so good, and then you got that injury, and you just could never get that. You're just always one step behind what you were. But coming in for like 1 million from Marseille back in the day, you were a godsend and just awesome. Moldolvan, thanks for being a backup. Um, don't really know much about you or what you're capable of, but thanks for your service, brother. Witzel and Aspilicueta. With Saudia, you're a goat. Aspilicueta, you didn't really do anything, but goat for Spain. So moving back to our overall team that we got here, let's cook up what we need to move on from. So Carlos Martin, we got to get him out of here. Let's see if we can sell him for about 8-9 million. To Rayo Vallecano, Getafe, I know they were asking. Um, Saul Niguez is gone. Juan Musso in is a new signing. Javi Galan, uh, keep him as a backup left back, no problems for me. Marc Puil, new right back, really excited for that. Maybe it'll liberate Llorente to be able to move up a little bit more, be a little bit more of a central midfielder, so that we don't have to buy another center mid when Rodrigo de Paul leaves that gap there. Thomas Lamar, or as I like to call him, La Maradona. Um, it's going to be almost impossible to sell. Um, I don't know. He was training with the first team again. He was training with the Madrileño side yesterday as they were looking kind of down on him, I guess. And he scored a couple goals in training today, and we'll focus in on some of that training. They're out in what is it called? They go there every year. Murcia. I don't know. In that part of Spain, super hot, super humid. And we'll show some of the practicing and stuff from there. We'll show some videos tomorrow of how things are going once this transfer craze chills out a little bit. We'll do some in-depth dives tomorrow. We'll probably cover um, a little bit about Hancko, watch some film, and dive more into him as a signing. Maybe we'll do Baena. I'll let you guys comment and decide what we'll go from there. Moving on to Clement Longley came in. Koke, from the bench, no problems here. Matteo Righieri, I'm excited about him. Watching film of him too. Antoine Griezmann, he is coming in as that off the bench super stud. Maybe he'll just be our new Correa, to be honest. Jano Black, goat, love you, big dog. Jose Maria Jimenez, I've heard rumblings about Saudi. Maybe coming for Jose Maria Jimenez. So we'll see what happens there. I hope not. I would keep him for at least one more year. He's very good when not in recovery because he's almost always injured. But since Profe Ortega has moved on, we have had less injuries with him. So I guess we'll just keep an eye on that. Nahuel Molina. And I saw some interesting things coming out of La Gazzetta from Italy today, which is kind of like their version of Marca. That they're obviously looking to bring in a right back. We have good relations with them. They want Nahuel Molina. They know that we want Vlahovic or wanted Vlahovic in the past. And they're talking about a little bit of a swap deal situation. So not sure how far that's progressed. We will see in the future how that goes. But that's one to keep an eye on. So if anything happens on that, we'll definitely be covering it. I think it's bye-bye Molina time. He is a surplus. They obviously brought in Puil, who is also right back, 20 years old or 22 years old. There's no more space for Nahuel Molina. He also is an extracomunitario, so we're only allowed to have, I think, 4 people without EU passports. I don't think Africa counts against us, so they can be African. But obviously, right now we have Samolino, extracomunitario, who is also being offered to a couple clubs. I think he's being offered to Napoli. He's been offered to Atalanta in a swap deal for um, Ademola Lukman, who I would love to have on our team, but it seems those rumors have died out a little bit. He's been offered to Nottingham Forest, I think Sunderland, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe Newcastle have been after him. I think we're looking to get around 25-30 mil for him. So we can see where that goes. But he's extracomunitario. Obviously, these two guys, South American, they do not have a secondary passport that is EU. So no bueno. Jose Maria Jimenez does. He has the Spain, so he's been playing with us long enough that he has gotten citizenship in Spain. Sorloth, a lot of people are talking about selling Sorloth. I don't want to sell Sorloth. I think with Baena this year, he is going to go ballistic. I think he is like I think he could win the Pichichi with the amount of assisting talent we have acquired and the amount of skillful players around him. Rodrigo Paul, oh, he did have Italian, so he was not extracommunitario. Thiago Almada, this guy came in, so that puts 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 here. Thiago Almada, coming in here, so he's one of the guys coming in. Cardoso does have Italian, okay, that's cool. So he's not going to count towards that. Giuliano has Italian as well. Giuliano Simone, go Johnny Cardoso. Like I said, I might analyze him first. And USA baby, I love to see that. Coming in here and firing us up. But Conor Gallagher is another one that we're looking and has been on the radar to possibly sell because of that. I think we can only have three actually, because that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we only have three maybe, because I've heard rumblings of having to make sales here um, for that excommunitario spot. So it must only be three, because Conor Gallagher is trying to get his Irish passport. I know he has the ability to get it, but if it comes down to it, I think they're looking to straight up sell him like after 1 year. I wouldn't sell him. I wouldn't sell him. I think I would start him and play a 4-3-3. But I don't want to go too far into detail of things we could cover this year because we're going to be trying to stream daily, if not daily, every other day. Um, not going to stream on Sundays usually. The weekend's pretty slow, aside from games, so we will stream on game days, obviously, when the season comes around. But in the summer, we're going to try to do every other day during the week or every day, depending on the amount of news and what we can cover. But that's kind of where I want to end this today, guys. So thank you so much for joining me for the first time. And